what
Okay.
happens.
Yeah, so
We are live.
a lot of broken
Okay, great. Thank you.
poles and
Well, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Painesville Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting on Tuesday, August 13th. My name is Dave Inzer. I'm the vice chair, filling in for our chair, who couldn't be here this evening. I'd like to start all of our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you could stand and join me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Rachel, could you call the roll, please?
Okay, Dale.
Here.
Randy.
Here.
Dave Lindros.
Here.
And Vice Chairman.
Here. Okay, so let the record show we have a quorum for the evening. Andy, would you like to swear in the witnesses, please?
Yes, if anybody is going to be coming and speaking to the board, a transcript have to be created. So anything that you say to the board needs to be the truth. Okay. So when you come to the podium, identify your first and last name, business address or residential address. But anybody that is going to talk to the board tonight, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to this board?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, we have a case that was continued from last month, so Rachel, could you read that case into the record, please?
Okay, applicant Zeltner Bree B submitted a variance application for property located at 21 Overlook Road. The request is to allow construction of a 24-foot by 10-foot front porch, which would maintain a setback of 39 feet and 8 inches from the road right-of-way in violation of section 14.03A1, which requires that no structure shall be located any closer to the road right-of-way than 50 feet.
Okay, thank you. I find no error in our zoning inspector requiring this to come before the board for a variance hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Please, yes.
My name is Mike Scott, husband of Bree Zeltner. You'll see my name on the, package. You'll see my name on the cover letter that she wrote. She wrote better than I could, I think, well written. But do you need me to kind of go through the case, or just
Tell us what you'd like to do. Yeah.
So, as she said in the letter, we've been here since 17. Got married in the backyard in 18, and had our son in 19. I'm an older dad, but I have a 5-year-old now. And that's great. But when we first moved into the house, and I have to give her a lot of credit because she has the vision for a lot of what we want to do to our house, whether it's the gardens in the backyard, the gardens in the front yard as well, not just vegetable gardens, but native plants that she points out in her letter.
Mhm.
And so when we moved in, it was really, what would make this whole property what we wanted to be if we fenced it in early to kind of give it a garden feel to it. Added the gardens, but then a porch was always kind of in our mind. So we think about whether or not it need a variance or anything like that. But we began to look as we take walks down the street, and when our son was younger, and noticed the porches and people across the street, or not across, but sort of catty corner, outside the porch, that kind of thing. We thought, wow, this looks really nice. We should do that to take away the sort of the blank look that our house has in front, and to kind of give it. And we wish we could do a wraparound, but we can't quite do that. But to have a porch there, so that was something we always wanted to do, and now we kind of held off on it because we have a young kid. How long are we going to stay here? But we love it, so we're staying. So it's something we really want to add to the property. We saw enough houses on the street that didn't seem to be much different, or seemed to be rather also closer than 50 feet. So we just thought we could come to you and say, can we do that? We're about 10 feet 4 inches difference,
Mhm.
And there are other porches, as I'm sure you have the photos that are listed there.
Mhm.
They're also the same. So we didn't think it would be difficult, but for us it would be a hardship because we want to stay there. We planted our roots here, and this is what we want to do.
Mhm.
I think that's about it. We've already looked into whether or not we have to move our meter or gas meter down a little bit to put the porch there, but otherwise there's no real anything hampering us from doing it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, my full name. I think it's Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
I'm on the guest list and also on the thing. That's Michael R. Scott.
Okay, great.
Oh, Mike.
Um,
She's texting me now because she couldn't be here. She's Sorry, she's still working late.
No worries. Yeah, so I drove past your property. Yeah, you've done a lot of nice work to the property, so thank
Yeah,
you.
those are flowers. She has cutting gardens all throughout. And, unfortunately, our neighbor's tree come right through the middle. And before the storm, we were ahead of it going, 2 weeks ahead of it going. We had really big locusts just take out a bunch of the gardens. But he came over and we cut it all up. But yeah, for the most part, we think we've done a nice job.
Good, thanks. And we appreciate you sending all the additional information about the other homes and the pictures. It's very helpful to the board. Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay, is there anyone here to speak against the request? Okay, just wanted to make note. Anything else you'd like for us to
No,
consider?
just that we appreciate it. I mean, it's good, I appreciate the consideration. Again, it wouldn't, if you said no,
Mhm.
I would love to say, but this is important to us. And I think it's especially important to Bree because it's something I think she wrote, again, she writes better than I do. But in the things she talked about, we want to have somewhere to sit and we have great relationships with the neighbors around us. We watch each other's animals, we water each other's gardens, that kind of thing. I hadn't thought much about it, like the front facing part of it, but I love that idea. And so it's something we'd really like to do.
Okay, very good. Got no other questions, comments? Sean, anything?
No, when you look at the neighborhood as a whole, I mean, there's houses that are closer
Yeah.
to the road, which is, I'm seeing this a lot in zoning, the nature of the 50-foot setback from the road right away. I understand why
Mhm.
it's there for safety and concerns, but the process is in place for this reason.
Okay, very good. Okay, Rachel, could you call the roll, please? Or, sorry, we need a motion from the board to approve the variance.
I'll make the motion to approve the variance case number 2024-0008 BZA.
Good, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Okay, could you call the roll, please, Rachel?
Okay, Dave Lindros?
Yes.
Ken's not here. I forgot to fix this. Dale?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
And Vice Chairman?
Yes. Okay, so the motion carried, so, when would you like to get started?
We wanted to right away this fall. And
Mhm.
when I said I talked to the gas company about moving the meter, and I asked them about how long is that good for? Because now we're looking at saying, is it gonna be spring? I mean, we wanted to do it this fall, right away. And our builder says he's ready. So as long as we can get that meter moved in
Yeah.
time,
Okay, well, the reason I ask is,
is there a time frame on this?
yeah, technically, our motion isn't formally take effect until the minutes from tonight's meeting are approved, which wouldn't be till September. But we have the ability to do what we call journalization, which would make it take effect immediately. So if that would be your preference.
Well, we'll check obviously with our builder tomorrow morning and this evening and see where they stand. And
Yeah.
I'll talk to the gas company and see
Alright.
how that all plays out. But I'm betting we won't be able to do it right away because that's gonna be a little bit of a couple weeks to get that gas.
Yeah. Well, if you anticipate getting started before the middle of September, we can
So we can
journalize it
contact-
tonight.
Okay.
You want to?
Oh, Gerald,
I'd
sure.
I'd
Okay.
recommend we do
I
that.
see,
All right.
sure.
Okay.
I'll,
All right.
I'll make a motion that we journalize case number 2024-0008-BZA tonight.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Rachel.
Okay, Randy?
Yes.
Dave Lindros?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
And Vice Chairman?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Scott, you're all good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's move quickly.
All right. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you, we appreciate it. It's
All
great
right.
to be here.
You
Thanks
bet.
so much.
I'll give you a call next week, midweek, for you to pick up the
Sure,
approved
that's
permit.
fine. I think you guys probably have Bree's number and then she's
Yep.
she'll send me. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
long.
See you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good one.
Okay, our second case is 000012 BZA. Could you read that into the record, Rachel?
Applicant Plum 4 Investments LLC submitted a variance application for property located at 1006 Robin Hood Avenue. The request is the proposed construction of a new dwelling on a corner lot, which is proposed to maintain a minimum setback from the road right-of-way of 13.25 21 feet from the road. I lost my place. 13.21 feet from the road that the proposed dwelling fronts on, and 7.75 feet from the side road does not conform to zoning requirements in the R2 zoning district, which includes the subject property in violation of section 15.03B, which requires that no structure shall be located any closer to the road right-of-way line than 35 feet and no closer than 14 feet from the side road right-of-way. A permit is therefore denied.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Again, I find no error in our zoning inspector requiring this case to come before the board for a variance hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Please, thank you.
David Slifka. I own Protect Builders, Plumcore Investments. I live right over here on Stratford Road. And this is, of course, for 1006 Robin Hood.
Mhm.
All the houses over there, all the lots are small triangles. And this particular lot, sort of
Mhm.
round. So I tried to pick a house that would fit, and a good-looking house. And I'm just encroaching on the one corner, and that's why I'm looking for a
Mhm.
Sean, could you put that up on the?
Yeah, we'll have them put up on the screen. So I believe that it's the property, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
right.
So if you looking at the property, this is the current overview from this satellite from 2024, probably mid-April. And then looking at the history of the property, this will take us back to 2017, where the previous house used to be.
Mhm.
So in relevance, just kind of like clicking back and forth to kind of see what was there. I'm not sure if any of you drove past the property or were up there. You can kind of see, when you see the numbers of setbacks of 13 and 7, you're kind of like, okay, these seem kind of close, but when you're up there driving, the roads are fairly narrow anyways, right? So you're like, oh, look at the beautiful lake. So in 2021, before the house was demolished, that's where it was at. You can kind of see the distance previously of that.
So the other lots next to it, who owns those, and are those gonna be developed, or?
So,
Those are owned by Osborne. Where you at?
yeah, this is Osborne. The chances of that being developed versus I've been with the township for roughly 2.5 years, and I have not seen any movement from any property from that name. And then this is Harry, which owns about every 4 lots up here. Osborne, Harry, Osborne, Black Bear. So this might be the only one that might try to build something, but I don't know what the cliff is, and Harry owns all the way up to the water.
Okay.
Originally, this property was purchased from the gentleman across the street, I believe, Patrick, which owns 1, 2, 3 lots here. And I'm not even sure if he sold this lot at some point, possibly there.
It's pretty hard to get a required setback with that size of a lot.
Yeah, and that's,
Yeah.
I think, when you look at like the hardships.
Right.
I mean, this would be the prime example of if you own property and
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to build on it, the setbacks are. Now, even to this day, so like this lot's for sale here, This would, a house in the R2 district would still meet like the 1960 requirements
Mhm.
in terms of cutting it down by percentage.
Mhm.
So you're looking at a shorter front setback, like 5.75 on each side, and then a 23 in the rear. And that's still not even accurate to what the zoning code is, you know what I mean? So
Right.
this is R2, it's 50-foot setback with 10-foot clearances. You're never,
Never gonna accomplish
on most of these lots up here, anytime I get new builds, it's like this. You're getting that shorter sides, closer to the front, a little bit bigger backyard.
that. Yeah.
So for this development of this house here, he worked, him and his wife, right, worked diligently with Harley in terms of trying to,
That was just a, quite,
so, you know, they spun, you know, trying to
Yeah.
get this thing into this pie shape
Yeah.
as much as possible.
so, I've been in touch with, Rick Osborne Jr., and that property, of course, his father passed away a few years ago. I am in touch with, the title company to try and purchase that lot, so I wouldn't have to be here. But, I can't say that's gonna happen. I've been in touch with, Harry, but he wants a lot of money for that, one above on top.
Yeah.
So that, I was trying to make it bigger, so I didn't have to come
Yeah.
here, not that I don't like talking to you guys.
Well, Sean, up.
I can't say that, you know, I can't say I'm gonna be able to.
And I'll attest to this. So honestly, even if you bought both of those two properties and then you made one large property, once you change the structure of the original lots from pre-zoning in 1960, you would then have to meet the standards of today for R2. So you might be able to have that if the house was kind of dead center with the setback and the 50-foot coming off of Robin Hood. It might be far-fetched, but you might still have to come in for a variance because 50 feet, I mean,
So,
you're,
right across the street, there's a gentleman that put two lots together.
Right.
and he probably applied for a variance. I was not here when the house was built.
Are you talking about 1003, the big larger
Yes,
house?
the newer one, yeah.
Right. And then the one next to it, which is 995 south, just south, that is much closer to the,
Yeah. And that's, to me, I call them cottage homes, like where these have been here for quite a long time, and I think the original design of Township Park back in the day. But houses were built, I mean, you can see where this property line is, and this house is right on it type situation, so.
and that one right there,
This one?
that one too, which is on
Yeah.
Sunset, that's almost right up on the street
Yeah.
as well.
So in terms of the setbacks and kind of where, I mean, you're 24 feet from there and a couple more feet and whatnot. There's definitely some ones that are fairly close. And this would be the only other closest example
Mhm.
to, you know, that exact size dimension of house. And I think that's kind of what Harley was basing it off of, right? So when you measure from the edge of the road right away, I mean, that's probably right there at that 7.4, right? And then this is, the front of the house is here going this way, and then this is the side. And that's right at the 17 in the setbacks. So
Well, as I was reading the request for the variance, it cites two measurements, the 13.21 feet from the road from Robin Hood, which is where it fronts. And then the other issue, the other dimension was the 7.75 feet, the very corner of the house relative to Sunset Drive. So, so the 775 to Sunset Drive on the corner is equivalent to the house you just showed earlier on the other, you know, to the right there
Yeah.
where, so that, to me, that's the one measurement of any of the ones that, seems to be, the one that might be the closest to anything that would be of a concern. But then Harley had sent us a letter. She had written a letter to us about the piece of property that was on there prior when it was tore. It's no longer there, the one you showed from about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And the corner of that house was about 9 feet from the road. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're measuring from the road right away,
Yeah.
'cause that's kind of what you look at.
Right.
And the photos are angled, so I mean you're right there at that 9.
So it's 7 versus 9. Yeah, 7.5 versus 9.
Looks like the new house would be quite an improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if for the amount of excuse me, for the amount of improvements in Township Park, this section here is seeing more activity than the section back to the left. So closer to Lake Erie Shores, you know, there's a new house here, this newer house here. Somebody was looking at a house down here to, you know, update that house. So there's more upgraded houses here from Steve.
There's no doubt it'll be a great improvement to the park. Right now, it's just big shrubs and trees and. All right.
I think one of the concerns is traffic and having it too close to that traffic. Well, I don't see a whole lot of traffic gonna be going up and down that street anyway, so I think that issue is pretty
Yeah.
much.
And he normally, like, I mean, there's a car parked there, you know what I mean? So it's a dead end, not approving of it, but 2014, 13, 14, 13, right? So, if there's one in 2023, there is, okay, so it's a dead end road, right? You know, when I travel to go do inspections, most people, if they're ever cutting through, are going down Midway. This is very limited. And in terms of how they normally plow, with speaking with like the road department, you know, they push up and then come back down and then push back up. So they don't wanna push snow towards houses, they're pushing snow away from the houses up towards the lake where there's nothing.
Which if they're coming around that corner, then they've got even more visibility going to the house.
Yeah.
Prior to hitting that 7 point whatever feet it would be. Yeah.
The other thing I noticed is the corner of the part of the house that's 7.75 feet from the right of way. It's a corner of the house. It's not the whole side of the house. So it's just a piece of the side. So that would be
Less than what it was.
less of an issue with regard to visibility.
Right.
Okay. I'm taking it, looking at the audience, there's no one here to speak against the variance.
There was a resident that stopped in, neighbor across the street actually. He just wanted to see the plans,
Mhm.
you know, he wanted to welcome whoever the person was moving into the area and appreciates an upbuilding. The only concern that he necessarily had was when you're driving up Robin Hood, that you would see, if you look at the plans of the house, that you're gonna see like a blank side of the house. And I said, I don't foresee this person building a very expensive home there and not putting in some form of landscaping and having a blank side. So, you know, I'm assuming there's gonna be beds or small trees and, you know, however it's gonna be, but I'm like, I don't know what's in the build there, cause I can't tell you if that's a structural wall or if it's stairs, and I can't force somebody to put a window on a house, so, that was the only concern, not necessarily about setbacks.
I have a set of the plans in the truck.
I think they have all
We
those.
do.
Yeah,
we
we
do.
see.
Plans. Looks like a nice house.
I mean, being close to the lake, the object is to look at it, so there's gonna be some, there should be a lot of windows.
Yeah, and looking at the plans, that would be, if I'm not mistaken, coming up on the left elevation. Currently in the plans, it looks like there's 2 windows on the second story and 1 at least on the lower story.
Which road does the driveway come on?
Driveway would come off Robin Hood,
Okay,
so he would pull up here, make a right, and then, because the drive would be in this vicinity.
Okay, so the garage is right there, that side of the house.
Yeah, so left elevation will be facing Sunset.
Any questions or concerns? Anything, Sean? Anything else you wanna add?
I have nothing else to add.
Okay.
Appreciate the due diligence, it's very helpful.
Yeah, it is. And the pictures and the plans for the house, very helpful. Okay, can I have a motion from the board to approve the variance?
I'll try my hand at that one. So, I make a motion that we approve, put my glasses on for this. 2024-0012 BZA as requested.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Randy? Any discussion on the motion? Rachel, when you're ready, can you call the roll, please?
Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Dale Lewis,
Yes.
and Vice Chairman.
Yes. Okay, so you're good to go. You heard the earlier discussion about journalization. Would you like for us to journalize the motion so you could get started immediately? You wouldn't have to wait till our September meeting.
Sure.
I'll make the motion to journalize case number 2024-0012-BZA.
Thank you, Dave.
I'll second.
Randy? Any discussion? Call the vote, please, Rachel.
Randy,
Yes.
Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
and Vice Chairman.
Yes. Okay, well, congratulations, good luck, and
Thank you.
all the best to you. Yeah, thanks for addressing that piece of property.
You two have the best first name ever.
That was a very
I'll
popular
call you
name.
next week, same thing, middle of the week, probably to get your permit picked up, and then you can move on to building.
I appreciate the pictures.
Yep.
The long time ago pictures.
All right, good luck
Have
to
a good
you.
evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You too.
Two.
Could I have a motion from the board to close the public hearing?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Second? Would you call a roll, please, Rachel?
Okay, Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
and Vice Chairman.
Yes. Okay, I'll open the regular meeting. The first order of business is the acknowledgement of the minutes from from last month. Does anyone have any comments or corrections to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, I think we can just approve it as it, okay, so we'll leave the minutes stand as written. Thank you for that, Rachel. Is there any old business for the board? None? Any new business? If not, then we'll need a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll make the motion to adjourn our meeting.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Randy. Would you call the vote, please, Rachel?
Dale,
Yes.
Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
and Vice Chairman.
Yes. Okay, so we're adjourned. Our next meeting is Tuesday, September 10th, and
I can't believe it's
See you
gonna
later.
be September
I
already.
know.
It's
We're
insane.
just
Crazy.
this year has gone by fast.